Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Shalom. I do videos on pop culture, artists, new music releases, all that good stuff. If you like how that sounds, press the sub button and the bell icon so you're notified every single time I freaking post. As you've seen in the title, the biggest what if, Solange Knowles. Okay, I had this idea when I had the random urge last night to basically just check Solange's socials. I saw she was thriving and doing great on her Instagram. You know, I did a couple of swiping, a little bit of, sculpting the scenery out. Okay, just looking through, seeing how she's doing. You go, okay, she looks like she was thriving, doing great, which is obviously great. And then I just went down a massive rabbit hole of listening to all of her albums, and this led me to feeling so much nostalgia and unlocked some old memories I had. After a while, I began to think, like, damn, Solange is one of the biggest what ifs. She stopped making music just when she started to carve out her own sound, her own brand, and she started to step out of her sister's shadow. Just when she found the perfect formula for her voice and which worked for her, she stopped doing music. And I'm gonna say right now, I've always liked Solange. Okay, I don't think I've spoken about it on my YouTube channel, but I'm gonna say it now. I've always liked Solange. I think I like her maybe slightly a bit more than I do with Beyonce. And some people might be like, oh my gosh, like, how can you say that? But I say that as Solange was the only one who ever stood on business and humbled Jay-Z. Okay, Solange handled him in that elevator, and to be honest, that's what Jay-Z gets for cheating on Beyonce and not knowing who the heck his wife is. I guarantee you, Becky with the good hair does not look like Beyonce. Okay, I don't even want to talk about Jay cheating on Beyonce because it generally makes my chest tight. I always remember the day when I found out, when I was around like 10 or so, 10, 11, and honestly I thought I was gonna pass out. Okay, that's a bit exaggerated. I wasn't gonna pass out, but you get the point. It affected me deeply when I was younger, and Jay-Z cheating on Beyonce still affects me to this day, because I'm like, how do you cheat on Beyonce? You just don't know what you have until it's gone, and I think that's what Jay-Z had. But anyways, that's crazy work. I don't even want to talk about it because it's honestly making me feel a bit queasy now, making me feel a bit weird now. Okay, I generally think if Solange had kept her composure and didn't attack Jay, she would still be releasing music, would still be doing her thing. I think a lot of people underestimate the power Jay-Z has in the industry just alone, not including the connections he has with other higher ups from different record labels, different distributions, different whatever. Okay, people really don't know, or they really do underestimate the power that Jay-Z has. Like, if Jay-Z does not like you, you are basically done. If Jay-Z, the people at Rock Nation don't like you, or you run your mouth about one of their artists, they will literally silence you or get rid of you, point blank period. If Jay-Z don't like you, your career is pretty much done. So that's why a lot of these artists, they kiss up to Jay-Z and Beyonce, mainly Jay-Z, because okay, he has the most connections, he has more than Beyonce, I'd argue. But yeah, if Jay-Z don't like you, you're done for. Okay, I could imagine Jay-Z ringing up all the radio stations and literally just telling them, don't play Solange. So after the incident of Solange attacking Jay-Z in the elevator because Jay-Z couldn't keep his thing in his pants, and Solange rightfully sorted him out in the elevator, whipped his behind, whipped his ass. I love that. Okay, I really did love that. I that's something I can watch. I watch it like every couple of months, every couple of years, because I'm just like, oh, Solange got him. Solange got him. Anyways, I don't encourage violence, but when it comes to Jay, I'm just like, he kind of got a bit of it. He got a taste of his medicine. Okay, or I say that. So after that situation, I could generally imagine, I'm not saying that he did, okay, I'm saying I could imagine Jay ringing up all the radio stations, telling them don't play Solange, because Jay-Z, he could do that. He could and he can do that. He has the money, he has the connections to do that. And radio play in music is extremely important. Good radio play for songs, it can literally be a difference between getting like a top 20 hit or like a top 5 hit on the Billboard charts. Radio play is so freaking crucial. Okay, it is so important. And if you get cut off from radio, then it's not impossible to chart high, but it makes it a lot more difficult to chart higher when you don't have radio play. At this point, Jay-Z literally just runs the music industry, and a lot of people, like I said earlier, who have had beef with Jay or don't get along with him, he would just basically just obviously not push you. Your career probably won't go the way that you wanted it to, etc. Obviously, a lot of people who have had beef with Jay-Z or don't like Jay-Z are going to have to kiss up to him at some point, or they already have. For example, if you want to get a Grammy, all you gotta do is just kiss up to Jay-Z. Okay, kiss up to Rock Nation. All you gotta do is just kiss up to Jay, turn up to those Rock Nation brunches, do a couple sacrifices or whatever they ask you to do, and you're in his good books. Because look at Nicki Minaj, for example. Jay-Z has had a personal issue with her for 10 plus years, okay? And obviously he will probably never ever let her attend or even get a Grammy until Nicki apologizes to him okay, and kisses his butt. So, and I just don't think Nicki will ever apologize to Jay-Z publicly, privately, and I just don't think she'll ever do that. I don't ever see that happening. So until then, she ain't getting no Grammy, okay? Every artist in the industry has to fall in line and kiss up to Jay-Z, but Solange just won't do that, which I generally do respect about her. A quality I generally like about Solange, she doesn't seem passive and won't bow down to Jay-Z. Like, she literally whipped his ass in an elevator, guys. Like, she ain't bowing down to Jay-Z. She ain't bowing down to this guy, okay? She literally beat him up in an elevator. If that guy wasn't holding her back, okay, in the elevator, ooh, Jay-Z would have been done for, okay? Even with the security guard holding her back, she still whipped his behind, okay? Like, can you imagine if security of the person wasn't holding her back? She probably would have given him a black eye or something. I just don't think Solange gets the credit that she deserves, okay? Point blank period. Because her range, oh my, guys, Solange's range in her music and her songs is insane. I don't think her range gets enough praise. You guys always want to talk about Beyonce's range, her range, like Solange's range is insane, okay? Cranes in the Sky, when she does those high notes at the end, I am so delusional. I think I can hit those notes and I can't. I can't, okay? I also don't think Solange is given enough credit for how she was able to carve out her own lane from Beyonce. Like, she has her own sound. She's unique, okay? She doesn't sound like Beyonce vocally. The aesthetics for A Seat at the Table and When I Get Home are unique, okay? Like, Solange had the girls wearing clips in their hair because of A Seat at the Table, the album, okay? And everyone knows that album cover. Everyone has seen it, okay? I don't want anyone in the comments being like, what are you talking about? Everyone knows that album cover. Even if you don't listen to like Solange or that type of music, I guarantee you've seen it. She had Drake wearing clips in his hair like 8-9 years later, okay? And obviously Drake didn't eat as well as Solange did, but that's something else, okay? A Seat at the Table is a vinyl worthy album, in my opinion. It's an album, as time goes by, it gets finer and finer, and it's an album that you'll be able to play in 5-10 years time. You'll still like it and still enjoy it, just like when you had listened to it for the first time, if that makes sense. Like, you know, those albums which are just they're just so good, they get finer and finer as time goes by, and they're so rich, like that, okay? That type of music. It's a shame that Solange came into the music industry in the early 2010s when Beyonce was ruling music to the point where she was the topic of the conversation around the world, okay? Like, you could not escape Beyonce, whether you liked her, you didn't like her, you could not escape her in pop culture, in music, etc. She was everywhere. And it's a shame that Solange kind of came up in the industry around that same time in the 2010s. Because of this, it took Solange a little bit longer to find her feet in the industry, but I'm glad she took the time to find her own sound and aesthetic, because it's something that not only sets her apart from her sister, but sets her apart from her peers in the industry. If only Solange's sister didn't marry and have kids with Jay-Z, I feel like Solange could have went a lot further. I think a lot of people don't think about the elevator incident and how that affected her career going forward, like how it affected just everything. I'm not saying it was like the catalyst of Solange not doing music, but I definitely do think there's something with that elevator incident, Jay-Z and his connections. I definitely do think that had a bit of a push or a drive as to why she doesn't do music anymore. And to be honest, I don't know if Solange will be able to do music now. Like, the music industry is so different versus to when she released her last album. It's so different. Like, the way people play the game, people buying bots and using payola, and the way people market things. And Solange just isn't really on social media like that, if that makes sense. Like, she kind of just lives life, posts her little snippets on Instagram, and I feel like if she's going to release an album, doing that just isn't enough anymore. And like the whole releasing 10 versions of one song, like, I just don't think that's part of Solange's brand. Like, she's the type of person where she just wants to kind of like maybe tease the album a bit, release it, and you know, just kind of go about her day. I don't think she's really about the whole like marketing and releasing 20 versions of one song. Like, she's not about all of that. Let me know what your favorite Solange song is. Only if Beyonce just didn't marry Jay-Z. Like, can you imagine how different everything would have turned out? Like, like, can you? Oh, but then we wouldn't have gotten Lemonade, would we? Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Okay, bye guys. See you in my next video.